Looks like I'm live. All right. I'll wait for this to go in it and see if there's a way to make this thing populate online. All right. Of course, I don't know if this is sharing on my page or not. So, I guess it will save after I have played for a bit. Okay. So anyway, hello YouTube and people of the internet. Um, just a few things. I've never done a YouTube live before. I used to do these live chats over on my Facebook page. So I've got a bunch of content over there, and I'll explain what I'm going to be doing with that. The reason I am doing this tonight is twofold, but centered around the same thing. And the most important thing is to all of the new people who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, YouTube is changing the way that they are doing some of their metrics with some of us YouTubers. So they want to make sure that we have enough subscribers and that we have enough uh, content being viewed over periods of time to maintain a monetized status. So I have been making a little revenue off of this YouTube channel, mainly off of my demonstration videos that ads are being placed in front of, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching those videos. I can't believe how many views there are. I think there's somewhere getting close to 400,000, or it's well over 300,000 anyway. Actual views on my channel. So that's amazing in just a few years, and I haven't really been pushing the channel that hard. I really just started doing the demonstration videos, and really a lot of the orange videos kind of took off, which is fantastic. The Fuchs videos have done very well. Um, the Jetter Gear videos have done pretty well as well. Not so much on the music stuff. So I'm hoping that with more diverse content, we'll be able to bridge some gaps there. So that's one of the things I had to do is make sure my subscribers were up. So in the last less than a week since I found out that these metrics needed to be addressed, you guys have come out in force and gotten me over the mark that I needed to hit. So we're past 1,000 subscribers, which was not something I had really done a push for in the past. I was just letting the videos just kind of populate online and seeing what they did. So thank you guys for really stepping up and doing that. So the next hurdle is YouTube wants all of these monetized channels, especially the little guys like me, to have had 4,000 hours of watched content on our page. And that doesn't mean I need 4,000 hours of content. I just need people watching 4,000 hours worth of stuff on my channel. So if I only had a 1 hour thing, and 4,000 people watched it, that would do it. Fortunately, it's metered against the last year, and I am somewhere around 3,000 hours watched in the last year. So we really only need to get over an hour watched. So I know you guys can do it. It's one of the reasons I'm doing this video, is to put some fresh content up, because I haven't done a video in a while. And with 1,000 subscribers, chances are an hour's worth of stuff, if everybody watches, we should be able to hit that metric very quickly. Share videos if you find them that you like, if you like them. In particular, I don't think it counts any of the ones that I have put into playlists from other channels, and there are plenty of those. Like there's some Stuck Mojo content, there's some Fozzie content, there's some Dreaded Marco content, there's some Agent Cooper content, just other projects that I've been involved in, and those are populated on either their pages or fan pages. I don't think those necessarily count on my channel. I could be wrong about that. I'm kind of new to whatever this next chunk of stuff is. So the stuff that will help me the best is you can of course stream every song off of 205 My first solo record is all posted on my channel here. My singles, Wherever You Are. Of course, my Christmas single, which was very timely about a month ago, is now past the season. But if you haven't heard that, you can go check that out. And there's a playthrough video of that as well. Um, One of my orange videos has a playthrough of a Dreaded Marco song from our last album, Safe Word. I should be doing more of those in this coming year, so be on the lookout for that stuff. Also, there are a lot of live streams that I've done just through my artist Facebook page. And there are hours and hours of shows. A couple of years ago, I reunited with John McKnight and John Schwanke in a group that we called the New Yankee All Stars, which has always had a very improvisational component to it. And for this last residency that we had at Darwin's in Marietta, Georgia, we improvised 100% of the night, meaning spontaneous composition. I, if we played any tunes, they were either quoted inside of an improvisation uh, or we had some kind of weird special request, or we were just feeling it, so we did it. So we were literally doing a thing where we would ask the audience to pick a title or topic and a key, and we would literally make stuff up on the spot. And it was a lot of fun, and we had some special guests sit in with us from time to time. So it was always wildly different, sometimes very abstract, sometimes very tonal. But there's a lot of great content, like hours and hours of content, because I live streamed almost every gig that we did. So I've got a video record of everything that we did while we were there for those weeks. So I am going to be pulling those from that channel and posting them up on my YouTube channel, so that content will be here. It's going to take me a minute to do it because some of them are literally an hour and a half. Some are a little over 2 hours because we just didn't stop playing. I was trying to break it up by set, and we did either two 90-minute sets or a 90-minute set and an hour set, something like that. We're pretty loose with that. So there's a lot of time. So I'm going to have to download all of those onto my computer and then re-upload them to YouTube. So I'll just be doing those little by little as I have the time to do that. So be on the lookout for that, and share any of those videos. Certainly all the demonstration videos. I have not done a demonstration video in a minute, which I will explain in a minute. Um, but any of the older content is there. So if you're new to the channel, check that stuff out. If you're not new to the channel and you've seen a lot of that stuff, maybe give yourself a refresher of the stuff that I've done and how I've done it. And if you'd like to see me do anything in particular, let me know, and I'll do that in future demonstration videos. Don't turn around, says cool. Thank you. I believe that is probably Paul Huff and company. So good to see you on here. I don't know how many eyeballs I got. Like 7. Okay, not bad for my first one. Hopefully you guys will watch this post live chat anyway. I probably will try not to ramble too long. I've already been on 8 minutes. So let's get on with the news. I've not been very busy lately doing too much online stuff. If you watch some of my chats on my Facebook page, hey Mark, what's going on? You know that I had started working on a new album called Drive. This was about 2 years ago, and it's a double album. The demos were almost finished, and it was really a very difficult bit of work because it was really using that as an opportunity to work through my depression. And I won't talk about depression issues here, but I did talk about them a lot in some of those live chats on Facebook. So I just got to a place where I had to stop working on it for a few reasons. One was that I didn't have the emotional fortitude to finish the work, and also when I'm in writing mode, I'm not necessarily in practicing mode, and some of the things were a bit beyond me from a playing perspective. So it's going to take me some work to actually get in there and learn a lot of what I was writing, so that I could actually play it. So some of the demos are quite a bit sloppy, a lot of holes left there for things that I know that I want to do, that I have copious notes written on, or mental notes for them. Um, but this will be the year that I'll be getting to work on that, getting back to work on that. So that's one reason I haven't been so active is it's very hard to play more shows with the Mike Martin band when I really feel like we need to have some new music out. And more of the last few years, of course, the last record I fully put out was with the dreaded Marco Safe Word, and we are in talks now of doing the follow up to that. And there's been a bunch of life stuff going on with everybody in the dreaded Marco, so we unfortunately didn't get to do a proper tour for that album. A lot of things that we didn't get to do with that album that we really wanted to, and we're really proud of that record. So we'll be serving that up as we finish a new record, so that we can celebrate both of them essentially, because it's been I think 3 years since we put Safe Word out, so we're well overdue to have some new content out. As a matter of fact, if you're in the Atlanta area, some of the dreaded Marco shows we've been playing 5 or 6 brand new songs that haven't been recorded, and we've got about an album's worth of material already um, in the queue, ready to go, plus some other stuff that we haven't even had a chance to all get in a room and work on. So be on the lookout for that. Um, Also, there's another project called Level 5 with my friend David Mannion, who is the current keyboardist for the legendary band Kansas. We've been talking about this project for some time, and he's been very busy with Kansas. He stepped in on keyboard responsibilities after Steve Walsh retired. They've put out one incredible album, and they've been touring like crazy on that, and they've just put out a live effort as well, and I believe they have finished recording a new record. So he's been super busy with Kansas, so we're real excited to start getting to work on the Level 5 project. So I promise I'll share news and stuff on that as it comes up. The next thing, Dixie Duncan and I have, of course, been playing together this past year in 2017. We finally got to do some Dixie Duncan band shows outside of the state of Georgia, up in Wisconsin, which was fantastic to actually get to do some traveling with the guys and bring in our brand of foolishness to some new territories. So that's been really good. Dixie's been working on a whole bunch of new stuff, including a new album. That is, if you know Dixie's uh, reputation and some of his previous work was a lot of technology and looping and doing some very synthy sounds with an acoustic guitar. Really phenomenal what he does. Just one guy with one guitar and maybe a bass and some stuff, but he could do all of this stuff really with his acoustic guitar and build arrangements, and it's kind of crazy. Um, but this new offering that he is doing is it's very acoustic, it's very stripped down, it's very performance based, and I'm real excited. I get to spend the day in the studio with Dixie a few weeks back, and get to work on a handful of tunes. Um, I'm not sure where he is in the process with that, but there's more work to be done. There's a brand new music video that just came out for a song called Too Much, that you can find. If I knew how to annotate stuff, I would just put it here. But if you're on YouTube, which you are, you can do a Google or just a search for Dixie Duncan Too Much video, and it should pop up. Um, then there is also the newest thing, Dose Martins, which is myself and Katie Martin, who's a longtime friend of mine and wonderful singer, songwriter, artist, brilliant, all around wonderful human being. This past year, we have been performing as Dose Martins all over the place: cigar bars, whiskey bars, breweries, barbecue joints, music festivals, all kinds of stuff. We've done some stuff with added musicians, but a lot of stuff is just the two of us. We've got more stuff coming up in 2018. We do have a Facebook page, so if you just do a search for Dose Martins, you can find us. And I think our next show is tomorrow night at the Cigar Bar in Auburn, Alabama. Um, do I like the Grateful Dead? I do like the Grateful Dead. Um, I'm not a super fan of the Grateful Dead, but I do like the Grateful Dead. I did not care for them so much when I was younger. Um, I learned to appreciate them much later in life. Unfortunately, it was after Jerry passed away. Um, but I have a much great fondness for them now. I have a lot of friends that play in jam bands. I've played in a lot of jam bands over the years. um, so yeah, I'm a fan of the genre and in particular the Grateful Dead. Um, So anyway, I guess that's kind of the music news. Keeping up with that stuff. There's plenty of dates coming up. My website, mikemartin.net, has been down for a minute. And partially that is, well, it is all completely my fault because I am the webmaster guy. And I had decided to change servers some months ago. And I've run into some technical glitches with that. I have friends who are much smarter about this stuff who have offered to help. And I'm going to be capitalizing on their help very soon to get that rectified and get a whole new site going on there. Um, so in the meantime, I've been doing some stuff in preparation for getting to work on the new Mike Martin record, which is Drive. Um, Probably the most recent thing I did was play at the Alzheimer's Music Fest, where I did a solo set where I played literally solo, just by myself. I did not have a band with me, and I played only new music from the new album. Um, so that was kind of exciting to get to unleash some of the new material that way, and get some immediate feedback on that, knowing that nobody's heard any of that stuff ever. So that was really neat. So I may be popping out and doing more solo stuff like that, in particular because I have an announcement that came out on the Gopherwood Guitar Instagram page and website. Gopherwood Guitars is a Korean manufacturer of acoustic guitars, and I am proud to announce officially here on my own channel that I am now endorsing their acoustic instruments. This here is my first um, Gopherwood guitar. This is a G820 CE, um, which is a fantastic instrument. I've had it for a couple of weeks. They do a couple of really cool things. One of them, which is probably the most innovative, is this sound pillar technology that they're doing, which literally is a sound pillar that connects the top with the back. So it changes the resonant character and tonal nature of the response of the guitar. And it comes with a few different tips: brass, ebony, maple. Um, One is called compression, I believe. There's four, four or six different different posts. And since I got the guitar, I wanted to get to know it without the post. So for the last couple of weeks, I've just been playing it as is. I think the only thing I had to do was give the neck a slight adjustment because of the humidity here in Georgia, and it's wintertime. Um, so just on its own, it's just a big, beautiful, resonant guitar sound. And maybe I'll play one of the a bit of a tune from the new record on this before I close this whole thing out, so you can hear a little bit of this guitar. So one of the things that I'll be doing as a new demonstration video is I will put together a montage of um, the different sound pillars because they really do change the nature of the frequency response of the guitar, um, which is a really neat thing, especially for me doing a lot of different studio work. Um, I can't have, and I don't have, 10 different guitars or 6 different guitars or 4 different guitars to choose from on a studio date. So to have one really great playing instrument that I can change up the character of it just by switching out the posts or taking the post out or putting a post in is really kind of wonderful. So I'm very excited about that. Another thing that they're doing is they're doing roasted tops. I know a lot of companies, electric guitar companies, are doing the roasted or baked maple necks. This has a mahogany neck on it, and this particular model is a regular spruce top. We will be getting another one with the roasted spruce top, and it's the same idea. It's sort of it dries out the wood and caramelizes whatever resin is left in the wood in a different way than just the regular kiln drying that every guitar manufacturer does. It's supposed to add to the warmth and the stability of the guitar. So just like with a roasted or baked neck, as the stability of the wood keeps it from changing, so it's easier to travel with because it doesn't need as much fussy adjustments and stuff like that. I think that's what you're going to see with the top, is that it just responds much more consistently right right out of the case, as a brand new instrument, as well as sound a bit more like a good aged piece of wood, without the years of potentially dangerous drying and cracking. So I'm excited to get my hands on one. All of the guitars that I played before I purchased this one, I believe I think most of them had the roasted top. There was a cedar top model as well that I liked, and I think there was one regular spruce top that I played, and I really liked the roasted spruce. It was a really beautiful sound. But wonderful guitar company. You can look for them online. They're very active on their Instagram, but it's Gopher Wood Guitar or Gopher Wood Guitars. Oh, my screen just went blank, so I wanted to be able to look on here. I don't know if I can do any kind of live chat thing here. So if you guys have any questions as things are happening, I guess the live one doesn't really. Oh, okay, it does pop up there now. Um, so I will check that out. I don't think my internet speed is great enough to let my computer chew on that while I'm streaming. So if you guys have any questions while I'm still talking, please absolutely chime in and I'll try to read them as they pass by. So that's some news on the guitar front. With that, I was really hoping to go to the NAMM show for 2018 in Anaheim, which is this week. And unfortunately, I can't be there. There's just a whole slew of things going on. Of course, Gopher Ward's guitars were very gracious and invited me to come out to their booth and demonstrate for them and meet everybody. And I just couldn't make it happen this year, unfortunately. But if you are going to NAMM, and hopefully some of my friends who are players and retail people are going to be out at NAMM, will heed this and watch this. They are at booth 2324 at uh, at the NAMM show. 2324 Gopher Wood Guitars. Please go check them out. And Marvin is my artist rep. Please go say hello to him. He's a wonderful man, and just a blessing in my life. And I'm really glad to be getting to know everybody and feel really grateful to be a part of that family. So now that I have what is my first official six string acoustic guitar, I've never owned one before, in many, many years of playing the guitar. It has a beautiful pickup system in it as well, with a transducer and a microphone inside that you can blend that sounds wonderful and very natural. So I will be taking this out for its first spin tomorrow night with Dos Martins. So I'm excited to get its first gig happening with it. Um, let's see, what else can I say other than I may start doing a lot more solo gigs with this kind of, now that I have this guitar as well, which could involve lots of different things between solo arrangements of stuff, maybe trying to rework a lot of my classical guitar repertoire, which I've not played in a very long time, just to get my fingerstyle chops back up. Um, who knows? I might even start singing. Nobody wants that, but I may start doing it. So be on the lookout for that stuff. Let's see, what else have I got? There are a couple of dreaded Marco gigs coming up. The next one is going to be at the Star Bar here in Atlanta, Georgia, in Little Five Points, with the Buzzards of Fuzz. And I cannot remember. There's another band on the bill, and their name is escaping me. And that is, I believe, February the 10th. No, that's a different gig. That's with the Glenn Pridgeon Band at the Hard Rock Cafe, which is another gig that's coming up. Um, no, maybe it's the 17th. I will double check that, and I will look on our Facebook pages for that. The Dreaded Marco is, of course, the band. You can find us on Facebook, and then I'll post it on my Facebook pages and all the social media uh, rigmarole. I'll find all of that stuff. Um, let's see what else is going on. Um, met some other people at Nose Pedals and Westminster Effects. I have a pedal on order from Westminster, which is a really cool. It's called the Knox 800, which is a very British style gain amp sound in a pedal box that I thought did really well, and I'm a fan of those kinds of dirt boxes. So I ordered one of those. I'm real excited about getting my hands on that. And they also do some the nose effects portion of their company do some mods to things like the Line 6 M9, which I've had as my main effects processor that I use in my loop for all my delays and reverbs and stuff. And the buttons have just over years they've taken a beating, so they do some mods where they replace those buttons and make that a bit more sturdy for people who are maybe a double left-footed like me. Oh, it's pre-recorded. Is that what it says? Actually, it's not pre-recorded. I'm actually here talking. I'm here talking right now. So yeah, there's news on that stuff. Skype lessons are still happening. Um, oh no, that's quite all right. It is real. It's totally real. It's not. It's not Velveeta or some other processed cheese food. It is actual cheese. Um, Skype lessons are still happening, so all manner of guitar stuff, music theory stuff, songwriter stuff. The two of five confused me. Gotcha. Um, yeah, that's my nickname because I am the second of five children, so that is my Borg designation if you were a Star Trek nerd and keep up with that stuff. Um, yeah, so that I'm also working with some students on uh, Pro Tools uh, help and production ideas with recording and home recording in particular. So if you guys have questions about any of that stuff, shoot me a message and I'll see if I can get with you on some lessons for anything that you're just interested in. If you just want to drop me a line and say hello and just ask me questions, I will field them as best I can too. Um, oh, nice, very cool. Yeah, there's a wonderful community of guitar recordists and music recordists out there. So it's really cool to meet new people and have conversations and see how everybody else is doing it. Um, and what things they like, what microphones they like, and direct things and other stuff. Um, I've got some other projects that are in the works with some other friends of mine. Eric Sands and I were talking about doing a project. Josh Sattler and I are talking about doing some recording. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I've kind of sat down for a minute. I know I just rattled off a bunch of stuff that I did do last year, um, but I really did kind of sit down for a minute, and it's about time to ramp things back up, which will probably involve some surprises um, in sort of the business side of things once I get more of my website stuff back together, um, and figure out the next portion of uh, my social media existence, my social media campaigns, my PR campaigns, live performance approaches and opportunities, and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of different ideas that I'm hoping that I can just start rolling out this year. I've been taking some risks on some things, and one of the scariest risks was just being not as active as I probably should be because out of sight, out of mind. So that's literally the beard. The beard is a good example of how long I've kind of been out of it. I've grown my beard plenty of times, but this has gotten a bit out of control, which probably prompted the question of do I like the Grateful Dead because I have this crazy beard. I'm really more into Frank Zappa than the Grateful Dead, if that tells you anything about my jam band uh, aficionadoism, if that's even a word. All right, so we're right about the 30-minute mark. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead. I'll try to field them here while I'm live. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to tell you guys about, talk to you guys about. Oh yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. So if you want to have conversations about the Last Jedi and anything Star Wars, chances are I probably have an opinion about it, even if it's just fanboy jumping up and down, wetting my pants, fanboy kind of thing. I'm into it and into talking about it. Um, yeah, yeah, that's about all I can think of. So I guess with that, um, let me play for you. Um, this is the opening track on Drive. This is a song called Departure. And somebody just posted a question, and I didn't look at it fast enough because I was looking down at my guitar. So if you want to post that again where I can read it, I will try to answer it super quick. Um, this will probably get a little bit more orchestration on the final album version, but at the moment it kind of exists almost like a solo guitar exposition. Um, and it also serves a little bit as overture. Uh, should I get a small mixing board or a preamp? Um, it depends on what you want to do. There's so much stuff recording wise that you can do right in the box. Um, for guitar recording, I do know that some guys like to get just a very simple, small mixing board. And if you're going to mix microphones, which I recommend highly, recording two microphones on a cabinet if you're going to record your speaker cabinet and not use a amp modeler. Um, Two microphones are great. One that's brighter, one that's darker, that you can sort of blend the two. Just make sure they're in phase. Um, I, for a long time, have literally just taken my microphone straight into. I have a Digi 002 rack. It's not even modified. Been using it for a very long time. It works great for me, and I bring them in independently as one track. But I don't blend them on the way in. I mix them afterwards. But the cool thing is, I leave those mics pretty much where they are, and if I need a little bit darker rhythm sound, I just turn up the ribbon mic and turn down the SM57, because the 57 is kind of in a bright spot. It's got a little bit more mid-range punch, and the ribbon is a little bit smoother on the top end, and maybe a little bit more forgiving in some of the mids. But it's a great warm sound. So I use the blend to kind of, when I need something to push forward a little bit, I use the 57. So for leads, I definitely push the 57 up a bit. For rhythms, maybe I pull it back a bit. But it seems like I almost always use some combination of the two. And if something's just not sitting in the mix with the blend, if I need something to be a lot darker, I can just pull the 57 out entirely, or pull the ribbon mic out entirely, and then I've got very different sounds for different guitar parts. Helps me get a good separation too if I'm multi-tracking guitars as well, where I'm going to do a lot of overdubs. I do know some guys, and I think it's Spectral Audio. Let me see if I can find that real quick, since I'm looking at, yeah, Spectre Sound Studios. Just did a short tutorial, especially for metal guitars, to take your two microphone sources and plug them into a small mixer and blend those down into your DAW, your digital audio workstation. There's something about the mic pre on a small mixing console that works great for metal. It's aggressive. It doesn't matter if it's not super discreet and quiet and all of that stuff. There's something about it that works really well for that. But you're committing to the blend of the two mics into your DAW when you do it that way. So go to Spectre Sound Studios on YouTube, and you can find that. Oh, you're welcome. And any time, man. If you want me to check something out, or if something's not working out, shoot me a message, and I'll hopefully I can straighten it out for you. All right. So without further ado, I will play Departure, and if I can remember it, because I haven't played all day. So anyway, here it is. All right, so there you go. That's that's the title, not the title track, but the opening track on Drive called Departure. I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully the next time you hear it, I'll play it a little bit better. So thank you for putting up with that and getting to hear a little bit of my new Gopher Wood G820 CE guitar, which I'm still very, very chuffed about. So if uh, if anybody's got any questions, I didn't see while I was playing, so maybe pop those back up. And oh, thank you so much. Um, Glad you enjoyed that. There's going to be a lot of different elements on this record, so that's like I said, it's a bit of taking the place of an overture. It's a very orchestral album, which is a little crazy for a double album for an instrumental guitarist. But seems like in a world where everybody's doing EPs and singles, you should do the craziest thing, which is put out 2 hours worth of music at one time. Because that just seems like a thing to do while you're growing crazy beards and stuff. So there's a little bit of everything. It's really, if you're new to what I do, check out 205. And if you've heard any of the stuff that I've done with Fozzy or Stuck Mojo or the Dreaded Marco or Agent Cooper or Jana or anybody else, this record really will be a departure. It's a turning point. It's really meant to be a bit of a pivot for me in where I'll be going next. So there'll be progressive elements, there'll be orchestral elements, there'll be solo elements, there'll be small ensemble, there'll be larger ensemble. Um, it's really kind of crazy. There's almost like three records in one, and it probably puts a little bit of everything that I'm interested in on display, which is why I kind of needed it to be thematic and have an overture and have themes keep coming back in different contexts to make the whole thing kind of make sense. Because in this weird place of all this what seemingly disparate musical styles, it somehow all makes sense inside of my head and in me, because I like playing all of this stuff. So anywho, while I awkwardly look at my phone and figure out how to stop this, thank you guys for watching it. If you care, hit the subscribe button. If you're just kind of watching this because somebody else has shared it, and if you like the message and all of that stuff and want to help me get my subscribers up and my views up, please share this video with your friends and guitar loving family, and I will greatly appreciate that. So in the meantime, uh, even on my phone, that guitar does have a quality sound. Awesome. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. And sorry to read out loud. I'm blind now, and that's another thing that's probably going to happen this year is that the old man is going to get some glasses. Yes, sir, Bob. So anyway, thank you guys. I'm going to awkwardly look at my phone now and figure out how to stop this at the 40-minute mark, and hope to see you guys very soon. Thank you, guys. Peace. Is that the button? There's lots of buttons here. I'm just going to awkwardly keep talking while I just start touching my phone. Yes. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. Because reading it doesn't make it any less awkward.